Hello, hello. It is Tammy with Cheers to Creativity. I'm going to show you what I do want to do with this, okay? So I'm just going to tip you down just a touch, okay? I base coated this with like a light ivory color or a light buttermilk color. And I want to pull some of the colors from what I'm going to use. And I think I'm going to use, this one. So let's cut this up first. Plain into this. This is going to go in our center. And I'm just going to grab my good old sponge. And what I did is, when I was looking at this, I just went and started playing. I said, it's a very, very pale green. It's almost a brownish green, but I thought this laurel would work pretty well. Pink. But if you added some light color to it, it might help. And then this was just kind of that more creamy color. So you can see it's just a tiny bit different than the actual base coat. Just grabbing a sponge, put it in that same little puddle, and that's too dark, so I'm going to pick up some more of that lighter color, kind of tone it down. I'm not worrying too much about the center, because like I said, my horse is going to cover most of that, but you can see I'm just giving it a little depth. I'm not going to even clean this. I'm going to pick up a little bit of that pinky color. I'm going to tap it off here. I know I want it to be lighter, so I'm going to pick up some of that lighter color. I might even need to give me a little bit of this extra color. And here and there, especially right around my very edge. Let's hit this with the blow dryer and then we'll set it aside. Make sure that center is good and dry when we get to using our transfer. So for right now, I'm just going to set this aside for just a second, okay, or two. I'm going to show you another one of the sets that we're going to be using. So I'm not going to put it in the center. I'm going to put it off down here a little bit because I want to add a couple little transfers to it. So I'm just going to come in here, a couple of spots more than once, okay? I'm going to lift that off. I think it looks quite good. All right. I want this to be just kind of hanging out about up there. I think that'll be fine. So I'm going to take this off, and I'm just going to position it. I promise you it's going to be much faster than if you were hand painting it. Okay, so we've got our little umbrella. I also just saw, I kind of like the idea of the little bit of time, because I think it's appropriate that when we are weathering our own little storms, we sometimes forget, myself included, that we have to give ourselves time. So I might use this little, let me think. So there's one more little thing that's going to have to show up on here. Dragonflies remind us anything is possible, just like such. So there we go. And I'm sure some of you still have some of those dragonflies too. So get a little bit of time and put this on here, and then I'm going to add just a little bit to my edge, and we're going to go on to another project. And there we go. Beautiful little key up there. So I've still got some of that champagne gold on my side. Glitter on the edge of my frame and pulling it into my project. All right. So it's stronger than the storm. Really, really pretty little edge on there. Simple, but sweet. Okay, let's see how we are doing with our little horse. Let me set this off here. Okay, and we added the little color here. We're now going to take off our little horse transfer, and we're just going to put it right in the middle. Again, I'm going to start here. Those little feathery embellishments are really thin lines, so you really need to make sure you're getting everything down. There that is. We're simply going to run our fingers across that. Isn't that pretty? Turned out super, super pretty. All right, we'll set that aside as well. And next up, this is one of the spring transfers, our stencils as well, and it's called Darling, Be a Wildflower. So I'm going to be the Darling so it's just kind of a fun green. So this is what I'm going to use Wildflower in. Here's black green. Okay, so I'm just going to put a little bit of that out. I'm not going to worry about cleaning my brush out too much. Okay, so we're going to take this off. Darling, Be a Wildflower. And then we're going to find a couple flowers that are going to work with this. That'll look very pretty right there. So I'm just going to let this kind of fall right. Tips of your leaves. Okay, so we've got that. Look at that. Look at that. Yes. How cute. How adorable is that? You're not adding a lot. You're adding just a little something, and it just makes a huge difference. All right. Just a little planter. I remember I got it with a plant in it, and the plant's long gone. And I really thought this could use a little something, something. It's kind of a swirly thing. Now, it is kind of a pottery thing. It's one of those that you would actually put a different pot inside. And what I did was I just used regular rubbing alcohol, and I just wiped it down. And what I want to do with this guy is use a little bit of... I'm going to grab one of our little bunnies. All right, so let's just see. Oh, look it. See, I was wrong. He will fit on there. Wouldn't that be cute? And then maybe if I had a little tulips in there, like the gift had tulips. I think so. I think that's what I do. Okay, so this is a curved surface. And so one of the things I do like to do with when I'm working a curved surface, I like to just take my transfer and just kind of form it around that a little bit. And it doesn't really form it, but it kind of gives it a little bit of idea. It's not going to be so curved that I'm going to need to slice it or anything. But I do like to kind of start pretty much in the middle of my transfer and then lay it down going this way and then that way. Okay. And then just like our other ones, we're going to have to burnish this on. Now I'm going to get asked, well, what are you going to seal this with? This to me is something that is not going to get watered. It's going to get water on it. If you're going to clean this, you're going to clean this with a clean damp cloth or clean dry cloth. So I wouldn't necessarily feel the need to seal it. But if when in doubt and you really want to, just use artificial tulips with moss. That would be cute. Just use a polyacrylic or just a varnish of choice, and then just make sure you go around the whole thing so it just doesn't end, doesn't have like a cast around it. Does that make sense? All right, pull it a little more up. Got that wheel. Now I am going to just going to rub this down. It's just kind of a Tammy thing. I'm just going to grab the brush I was using. I'm going to go back to that little green I had. I'm just going to, a little bit underneath his feet, underneath the wheel, just a little bit to ground it. Not too much. Could do that with brown too, but with the green I had. And then I might even take a little skinny brush, still using that same little green. I'm just going to pull up a couple little, we'll call them grass twigs. Now, because I've just added just straight acrylic paint, I could have done this with enamel too, and then I wouldn't have had to worry about sealing it. I probably will just give this a quick little, even just a spray. How cute. How cute is that? It turned out super, super sweet. Okay, so there we go. No, back up. So this was one piece we did. I didn't get to everything, but we'll get to those later. We did Stronger Than the Storm, and we added a little bit of glitter around the edge to it, and we added a couple of the transfers. And we just kind of threw in a little dragonfly. Can't imagine why. Then what else did we do? Oh yeah, we did Be a Wildflower. Again, stencil. And then we added the hummingbird. That's so cute. And we added the flowers at the end. We had the horse. So took a scalloped little wood plate, added just a little paint to it, and we added the sponging around the edges. And the back of it is just the same color, but that horse just turned out super, super cute. And I believe that is all we did. 1, 2, 3, 4. We did 4 projects. All right. Can't wait to see you again. Have a great rest of your evening. Have a great night, guys. Bye.